Hello, this is Baumgartl speaking, and today I'm at the river again. I'm going to meet Rikhy Ray, my Indian friend. We are going to shoot some video, a vlog. Rikhy will be talking about his instrument, his guitar, and about classical music.
That side there are kids and all kind of things.
Too many people?
Yeah.
So you have found the right spot?
I mean, this is place.
I also brought a tripod, but I think we are not going to need it today.
Wow. Where this guy's going? Where are they leaving?
It's the end of summer. The birds are already leaving. Rikhy. A year is going by very quickly.
I mean, it's not the most comfortable for me to sit. But I thought if I go there, you have in the background this.
All right. So I'm sitting here with Mr. Rikhy Ray yet again. And today we want to talk about Indian classical music. In particular, Rikhy is educated in Indian classical music. And I would like to know how he transferred Indian classical music to a modern Western guitar. Rikhy, please enlighten us.
Well, to start with, it's not. It may look like a guitar, but it's not exactly a guitar. And I will have to say the complete story that
Sure.
to understand how it went so far that I have this instrument here with me. It started sometime, I think it was 86 or 87. At that time I was still playing only Indian classical music in India, and I was in a studio with my guru, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, that was in New Delhi, helping him to make some edits for a production for Indian CBS. And somehow in the conversation came the topic of a group that was popular when I was a kid, and a group that they were like my heroes, but came like a falling star for a few years and then was completely forgotten in the West.
Which one?
And it's a group called Shakti, which was the group of John McLaughlin.
All right.
But to my surprise, the man from CBS said that this is still the best-selling album in India, which really surprised me because, as I'm saying, though it was a combination of fantastic musicians and great music, in the West it did not really catch up that much, and it was practically forgotten already in the 80s. So that's how my idea came. Why not do that kind of music to that young Indian generation could relate even better to classical music, not to mention the Westerners. Plus, I like that group, no? They were like my, Jimi Hendrix, Shakti, they were my childhood heroes. So that's how the idea started, and then I had to think how to get a guitar. And you've been to India in the 80s. I mean, to get a guitar, it was impossible. The so-called gift song from Calcutta.
I tell the viewers from my Western point of view, It was even difficult to get a simple can of Coca-Cola. Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get it on the street, really, just in high-class hotels or on the black market.
You have to know that this unfortunate idea of Jawaharlal Nehru, with his fascination for Stalin and everything communist, they had things like 300 or 350% customs on luxury goods, and luxury goods include piano or violin, and it was ridiculous. But the luck, my luck was pretty amazing. I was flying after a concert from Bombay back to Delhi, and overheard a conversation. I was sitting next to the gate, to the door of the airplane, and I overheard conversation that there being curious person, that was police and customs talking about somebody, so that they are going to catch, and that is why the whole crew, I think of 20 people, were flying there. So I was curious. Let me see. And since they mentioned the number of the seat, so I went to toilet to check who is that. And to my surprise, it was somebody whom I met months before on the beach in Orissa near my mother's house. So I thought, it will be fair to inform him about this surprise that will be waiting for him. And I said, whatever you have, just declare it.
Right,
So,
that's the right thing to do in India in the 1980s. If there is even the slightest chance where they can give you trouble and charge a fee, and if you're not willing to pay the fee, maybe to get another way around. I don't want to elaborate. I think you get the message. So you better declare everything you carry on you.
Indeed. Anyway, the fact is that there were it was like a whole group of, I think most of them, they were economy students from Ostblock, from Eastern Europe, who actually were starting their business. Probably by now they are multimillionaires in their countries, because they were incredibly enterprising. They were mainly importing unofficial electronic parts, and that was the reason why they were there. So no drugs or gold or something like that. Anyway, they were nice people, and as I said, just warned him. He did what legally was to be done, and I saved him a lot of trouble. And then later he asked me if he can do something for me, and I said, could you bring me a guitar? He said, that's all? So I got a guitar 2 weeks later. But my luck was not even exhausted. The same place, 3 months later, during Christmas, I was just starting playing the guitar, and I didn't know, how you find a Western music teacher in India? It's not so easy. And I'm there on the beach, and my first teacher was somebody who supposedly was one of the best guitar players and the most in-demand studio musicians of Italy, from a very popular group. I forgot the name, some Equipo something. And I heard from other Italians later on that was really like a star in Italy. And this guy was there just on holidays, and I met him just like this on the beach, and he started to teach me. That's how I got my kickstart. Anyway, after it took few years to get really that far that I could think about developing, that the music of a Shakti type was coming to this form. And that's, meanwhile I moved to Germany, and that's renew my friendship with John McLaughlin, who was the original leader of the Shakti. And he was happy that somebody picking up this idea, and gave me some couple of good advices. And finally also one of the first of these instruments that were made for playing in this group, which was like a combination of guitar and the South Indian veena. Mm-hmm. And so of course it was a big encouragement, and but even more important was that he was very skeptical about this whole idea of playing two instruments, because I still played sarod, which is a fretless instrument. As he himself, his experience was, you can't be great, you can be maybe good, but not really great on two instruments.
Okay.
So he was pushing me to choose. And so indeed I decided to do that, and got even more serious about working with this Shakti guitar. Later he gave me the one that was really used on all the recordings, and it was my favorite instrument, no doubt. I use it on all my recordings and concert tours over the end of 80s and 90s. But I start to have problems with this instrument also. And similarly with the third Shakti guitar that he gave me, for him, he wanted that I play instrument because instrument that is not played loses the sound. And that led ultimately to a disaster, because you see, Indian climate, the humidity, the changing temperatures. You have 30-something during the day and maybe 18 at night. It worked terrible on the guitar. And so all of these guitars, the one that he gave me and his, they were just splitting apart, you see, like here where you have the joint in the wooden guitars that they are made. It would give away because the difference, there's always in guitars, is different wood is on the top. Here would be Rio Palisander, as German call it, or so rosewood. The top is always spruce, Fichte. And so they work differently, different temperature, different humidity. So splitting, then every time I would come on tour to Germany, I would give it to a luthier to repair, but to make the story short, finally John really got pissed off because I left the instrument and someone took it to him before it was given to the luthier, so in miserable condition. And that was already the time that I had some other ideas how to develop this instrument more, so it will be more suitable for me. As you will see on the pictures, the Shakti guitar had here extra strings, which people think they are for resonance, like in sitar or sarod, but they are not. They were for John because he liked to have some chords, and since in Shakti there was just a violinist, he was the only instrument that could play some harmony. He was like kind of accompanying himself. And what I was missing was the so-called chikari or talam strings, these which you can see here, which his instrument did not have. And this is like essential. All the Indian instruments, they have this because they play important role in playing in rhythm. So I was looking for different manufacturers, visiting also on Frankfurt Musikmesse. And finally I got with a company called Ovation. Which is very special because will be something of your interest, because the owner and the founder of Ovation work also for NASA, and he was originally fabricating helicopters and some parts from the aeronautics. The idea is so that the same spruce that is used for tops of the guitars is used also for the blades of the helicopters. And the issues are similar. In the helicopters, you want to reduce the vibration. Here, you want to amplify the vibration. No? So you work on the materials. So, and he was very much interested in modern technology. So his first innovation, when he started, I think first Ovation appeared end of 60s, was to have a round back. Like in all Indian instruments. Yeah, okay.
Show it around that the viewers can see it. Okay.
Why? What is you see, the technology was limiting people to make these boxes kind of guitars, which is not very suitable, because the idea is that the distance to the top should be more equal. And when you think from not only India, even Apollon in Greece, when an inventor of Western music, he took the tortoise shell and made his first lyra. So the tradition goes back not only to the roundback instrument, not only in India, but also in Europe. So, but meanwhile, he made some more innovations, and that concerns this instrument also, which was the top of the line, was to the dilemma with building instruments is you want to make it thin so it's resonant, but if you make it too thin, it will break. So having access to the high tech, what they did here, some people say it's a carbon top. Actually, it's a wooden top of birch, birka, which is sandwiched in very, very thin carbon. Well, that's why I'm saying that this kind of misconception is a carbon top, because this carbon layer is actually thinner than would be a regular guitar paint, this nitro paint that they have.
This is now real technical stuff for guitarists.
Yeah. So you see, as you can hear, it's almost like a drum. It's very thin, very responsive. It means louder. Yeah. This guitar will be louder than the similar instrument made of wood. But for me, very important thing, it's durable. You see, this instrument is now over 20 years old and I did not have to adjust anything. Nothing breaks, it's just solid, and I toured the world with it, flying all over, and unlike with the Shakti guitars, I absolutely have no problems. Plus, I can do the things that I could not do on John's guitars.
And you can play kind of Indian classical music on this guitar.
That's the whole idea.
So Rikhy, so I suggest you just
give some sample of it.
You just give us a few samples. Shall we move somewhere else? It's getting a bit noisy here now.
So that would be like a typical part from the interformal I've played in Indian classical music. And the thing is that the way this instrument sounds, it's very similar, similar to the extent that people who in South India who hear some of my recordings, they are convinced that this is the very huge Saraswati Veena, which you can see on some of the photos which we will have there. Well, here I have instrument that is possible to travel with. When you have to travel with Saraswati Veena, you have to book a seat for that instrument, and it weighs a lot because it's made of solid wood. So that's another aspect of it. But at the same time, so I can play this, and then in seconds I can go. Sounds just like a guitar. So in a second I can shift from one music to the other. No?
Cool.
And that was the basic idea, because developing the music, I needed certain sound. So that's the whole essence of the story, is that it is what the artist needs. You look for the ways to achieve it, to have the sound that you want to have. And finally, after a lot of experimenting, I got the thing right, and retired also sometime. As soon as I got this instrument, I retired the Shakti guitars, because they were nice and they were part of the history, but I was now on my own with my own instrument. Yeah.
Okay, Rikhy, I suggest now we listen to that thing, to this guitar. everybody. So if you have a special question you would like to ask Rikhy about his guitar, about Indian classical music, how he transferred it to a modern Western guitar, please leave a comment below this video. And I want to stress one point. It's a spiritual point. Rikhy was talking about how he got his guitar in India in the mid-80s, when it was very, very difficult to get Western goods in this country. Yeah, sometimes you just have to accept to be lucky and allow the universe to provide. All right, so we hope we see you next time. I've already decided I will call the conversations we have the India Talk.
Okay.
Yeah? So this will be a regular format on this video blog, the India Talk. I see you next time. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. You will find the link to more video blogs with Rikhy Ray and myself next to this video. And if you like this video, probably you want to leave a thumbs up. And please do subscribe to my channel here below. And I see you next time. So until then, take care. Peace.